Think, Live, Be production.
3, 2, 1. Seeking the best, being my best. Do do da 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 da. Seeking the best, seeking the best, seeking the best, 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 best,
Welcome to Seeking the Best. This is the podcast for real estate agents who are seeking clarity, focus, and a better way forward. I am your host, Kathryn Stelljes, and sitting across from me is my co-host, Patrick Fatika, our sound engineer and producer extraordinaire.
Good morning.
Do you like your title?
Uh-huh.
I say it every time.
Uh-huh.
You are extraordinary.
I'm extraordinary.
Well, I guess I should introduce myself a little.
Yeah.
Because it's been a while. If you're a new listener, then welcome to Seeking the Best. I am a realtor myself. I'm a real estate agent, actively producing, and I've been selling houses since 2006. I'm getting up there in age.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to be that agent that's like, back in my day, we did things this way.
Yeah. You're a top producer.
I'm a top producer.
You're a top producer.
I'm not afraid to say
and
it.
You're a productivity coach for your brokerage.
I also took on that role last year because I love teaching and training and honestly, just telling people.
Obviously, we're doing this podcast.
Right. And we have for a while now. But I like to share with people. I've gone to so many classes.
Well, best practices, right?
Right. I've made so many mistakes. Let me help you not make the same mistakes. But also, one of the things that probably over the last 8, 9 years, going on 10, I've just been trying to become better at time for myself and balancing being a busy professional with actually having some sort of life.
Yeah, I started to, once you figure out the job, right? So you don't spend any more time. There comes a time where you kind of know everything. And if you don't know it, you can figure it out. There's no fear of what is the contract saying? What do I do in this situation? You know the answers to all of those things. That happens with experience. So where does that energy go? It goes into figuring out how to run the business as efficient as possible so that I can spend as little time letting that envelop my life, but still be proud of what I'm doing and be successfmy
Yeah.
Right. And whatever that means to you.
And I've said this recently and to people around me, and my mission truly is to elevate this industry.
Yeah.
Because there is a pretty low bar to get your real estate license in most states, and that means that a lot of people get one and they're running around acting as real estate agent.
Yeah.
And they have no business doing it. And we, on the other end of the professional scale, where this is our career, we've been doing it for a long time, or even if you haven't been doing it for a long time, but you're taking it seriously and you're trying to build a career, we have to deal with those people
every day.
And so if through training and education, I can help elevate the people in the industry.
Look, and
good job.
Yeah. And it takes a long time. It's why, if you ask anybody who's been in the real estate business for any amount of time and you say, what should I do? The first thing that people say is get a coach, because they're going to save you so much time and energy. Instead of you sitting there figuring things out the right way, the wrong way, they can guide you to the right way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what Kathryn is trying to do as a productivity coach, but also with this podcast, is to help people who are newer agents or have plateaued and want to go to the next level, how to do that quickly and efficiently without having to backtrack. Because all of that backtracking and all of that trying to figure it out takes a lot of time, and you can get there a lot faster and see success a lot quicker by following, by getting a good coach, or by, hopefully listening to this show.
Well, what you're doing when you listen to a podcast, or you get a coach, or you go to a training class, or you do any of those things, is you're trying to improve yourself. And so you're growing as a professional. So welcome to the podcast. I just wanted to kind of reintroduce myself.
Sure.
Yeah. So let's talk about, this season, we've been talking about time because it literally is the most important asset that we have. Like, it's more important than your house, your car, like the money in the bank. Your time is really, I say, like, it's all you have. You have other things. You have your experience, your knowledge, and whatever. But somebody that uses their time really wisely, gosh, I can't talk this morning, can actually outperform someone who has more experience. It is the best asset that you have.
Yeah, it's why it's one of the main things people talk about is leverage.
Yeah, leverage.
Right.
Well, because leverage buys you
more time. Right.
Through systems, tools, people. But the reason we wanted to do a whole season about it is because it's not just your biggest asset that you have. It is the least respected. It's
the least respected. Yeah. That says it all. I don't have to do any follow-up.
There's no follow-up.
Yeah, no follow-up.
Drop mic.
Yeah.
We do not respect our own time.
And other people don't respect it either.
Other people don't respect your time either. And let's be honest, sometimes we don't respect other people's time either.
Yeah.
Because we're not thinking about it in the sense of how finite it is. But the busier you get, the more you realize, like, if I can master this one thing, sky's the limit.
Yeah, for sure.
I just had like chill bumps. I was like,
Kathryn gave herself chills. I gave
myself chills, but let me tell you why. That sounds so crazy, but I was like, light bulb moment. You know, I know it. I'm working on it, but it was like light bulb moment. Like, that's what I need to be mastering.
Yeah.
Like, forget about listing appointments, all of that stuff. It matters, but not as much as this.
No, it doesn't matter as much as this, because this is the driver of all of those things, right? It's like your experience. You can't get the experience without doing the work. And the only way you can do the work is to budget your time in the right way so that you can lead gen and do the things that you need to do. But it all kind of is based around this time. There are tons of realtors out there that have been in the business for 10 years and have done the same amount of business as an efficient, good agent who's been in the business for 2 years.
Yeah.
That's all over the place. So how is that? So you could say, well, I've been in the business 10 years. Yeah. And how many houses have you sold? 12? Well, then you're not very efficient with your time, and you also don't have the experience. We say this all the time when Kathryn would get a new admin, after they've been in the business for 6 months working as an admin, they've done more deals than most agents have. And to remind them of that and go, remember, you've done 50 deals. Right. So that's already more than most agents have done.
I forgot about that. That's a good reminder. If you're listening and you do have team members and you guys are above whatever the average agent is doing, like, share that with them, because everybody, including myself, we need confidence, and confidence builds as you do things over and over again naturally. But when you're reminded, oh yeah, I feel like, this is why I would always tell them that. And I'd tell my transaction coordinator and anybody working on something, is because they would feel less important. I don't know if that's the right word, but they would maybe feel less important than the agent in a transaction.
Right. You get
because you're not the agent, right?
You get a pushy buyer agent on the other side.
They don't want to talk to you. They want to talk to the
right,
agent.
Right.
And so it can feel on those operations roles like, well, you don't matter as much. And that's not true, first of all. But second of all, you have to remind them, hey, you've actually done more deals
than that agent.
Yeah.
Don't let them push you around.
And I don't mean look up their sales. I'm just saying, like, listen, we're doing a lot more than the average agent, and you're the one closing that file.
Yeah.
Which means you've actually got more experience than probably that person does.
Yeah.
Don't forget that.
They have to be reminded of that. Yeah.
And where were we going with that? I got off on a little bit.
I was just talking about the time and how that all the experience comes later. if you can protect your time, that's going to come no matter what. If you're doing business, you're just going to just naturally learn all of the steps and all of the things and stuff. But if you can learn how to protect your time from the beginning and how to use it efficiently, that's really where you're going to see yourself get off that plateau and go to the next level.
So I'm actually teaching a class for any local people. I'm teaching a class at our market center on March 4th. And it's the 6 Personal Perspectives, which is a course it's a KWU, so Keller Williams University course that was written by Gary Keller many, many, many moons ago. And it is still so relevant. And it's literally like the foundational pieces of successful people. And so much of it is about that mastering yourself and time and figuring out what are your most important things and like how to master all of that. And so I'm excited to be teaching it because it's like reminding me of all of the things that are so important that on a busy day, you kind of forget and maybe get off track, like focusing on your 20%. And what does that mean? Like people say 80-20, your 20% are the most important things that actually deliver 80% of the results. Mm-hmm. And so when we're talking about time, imagine if you spent most of your time focused on those activities. Well, then your 80% would grow. And I don't mean it would become 90% or 100%.
Yeah, it would just be more.
I mean, it would be more instead of you're sitting there doing all the little tedious things that somebody else could do or that could be done later.
Or don't need to be done at all. We've had that conversation.
A lot of stuff
right?
about that, right? And so I wanted to talk today about one of the things, like as a single agent or an agent with a team, the easiest way to make more time is to focus on listings. Having a listing focused business, it's literally in the MREA book, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, is that listings there's lots of things. We'll break it down into a couple different segments, but listings give you more time because they're not as time consuming as buyers. So you can have more listings going than you can buyers at any one time. And hear me out real quick. I'm going to go down a bit of a rabbit hole, okay?
Mr. Rabbit, wait!
Okay, so I'm not saying that you should leave your team if you're a buyer's agent or don't sell houses to buyers. In fact, I saw a stat recently that people on teams make more money on average. That's not surprising. You know why?
Yeah, not
because
at all.
they have leverage.
Yeah, because they don't have to do the admin work and all of the other stuff, and the marketing and all of the things that you do as a business owner.
Yeah. You
can spend all of your time getting new clients.
Well, so we talk about when you get your real estate license on day one, what you don't realize 99.9% of the time is that you are starting your own business. You might be like, ooh, I'm going to be a real estate agent.
Get my business cards with my face on it.
And you're excited about like doing your own thing. And you might even say like, I'm starting my own business, but it doesn't really click that you are literally starting a business. What does that normally entail for people? Probably leasing a building or having staff hired or having inventory purchased, or like these are the things that come along with opening a business. But we're so fortunate that we don't need any of that. Mm-hmm. We can just get a license and then go and help people with the most important asset of their lives.
Yeah.
And so understand that when you join a team, somebody else has taken years and years and years to build the business. And you're like plugging into all of that systems and infrastructure that they've built. And so naturally, you can make more money than you would if you just got your license and you're on the street trying to figure all this out on your own.
Right.
So I'm not saying like, well, go talk to your team owner and say, hey, I want to take listings. That's not what this is about. When you're on a team and you're a buyer's agent, your sole focus, you've got the leverage right there by them saying, here, you only have like a few job responsibilities. You don't have to do all the other stuff. They've already really set it up for you to have more managed time than you could do yourself as a new agent.
For sure. Yeah.
But so just don't misunderstand what I'm saying. But I'm saying as a single agent or somebody who intends to grow a team, listings allow you to build a business and have, I guess what that is, that's inventory. Like, so why wouldn't you have inventory? So go out and take more listings. So we're going to break it down into just kind of a few segments, but like why are listings so much better? And the first thing is literally you don't have to get out of the office. Like you have to go to the appointment. With buyers, you have to get in the car and drive them around. So a buyer, if you're going to go show a buyer 7 to 10 houses.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm sure a lot of you are showing way more.
This is all before you go under contract.
Right.
Then you got to go to the, inspections, and then they want a contractor to look at something and a plumber to look at, and you're going out to the house after they're under contract for a bunch of times too, even the walkthrough. So
let's say for a listing appointment, your listing appointment might be an hour. Let's say that's probably pretty average. An hour. Yep. If you're new, you might be rolling into 2 because you haven't figured out how to fine tune
how to save your time or how to,
But let's say it's an hour and it takes 30 minutes to get there, 30 minutes back. That's 2 hours in the car. And then take a buyer, and you should be doing a buyer consultation with them, but maybe you're doing that at your office. So you're already there. So that's an hour, let's call it. And then there's no drive time to and from because you're already at the office. And then there's 7 to 10, probably more like 15 to 20 houses that you will then show. And those will be, usually if I'm showing 4 houses, I try to not show more than 4 or 5 houses at a time.
Yeah. People get, they start to all run together.
Yeah.
So if you start jamming 8 houses in, they're not going to remember the differences between the 3rd house and the 5th house. Yeah. It's all going to start to,
So when I show 4 to 5 houses, usually that takes 2 hours. So if we were showing 10 to 15 houses, math it. You're supposed to math it.
Like 4 hours? I didn't hear what you said.
So you're not listening?
I'm okay. I'm listening, but I saw a truck pull up.
I saw you.
And I looked out the window and you're like, math it for me. And I'm like, no, like a deer in headlights.
So, called you out for not paying attention to me. No, but like each time out is 2 hours minimum.
Yeah.
So 2, 4, 6, 8. Maybe you're at 10 hours by the time they make their first hour or first offer,
which they might not get.
This is true. Or like it might not work out. But so let's say you're 10 hours in listing, you're 2 hours in for the same like initial activity. Yes, there are lots of things to do with a listing. So we'll get to that in a second. But I'm just saying like the drive time is what we're talking about. The drive time and an appointment time. Then the buyer goes under contract and they have to do an inspection. And you've got to go drive over there and be there for the inspection. That's another 2 to 3, sometimes 4 hours.
Yeah.
There's time saving tips that we've given about this before that I'm not going to get into right now, but it doesn't need to be 3 to 4 hours. But so let's say you're now at 13 hours. And then you might have to go back with them because they always want to like take their parents or measure rooms or something.
Yeah.
So you might go back.
Or like I said, there's a plumber that they want to get a quote, or they want, we want to put a screen in porch. Those. We want to do that.
Okay. So let's add another 2 hours. You're at 15 hours.
Yeah.
And this is if they decide in the first 10 houses.
Right. Or they go under contract right away under one of those houses.
Yeah. So we're at like 15 hours. And then you got to do walkthrough and they're closing. Whereas with a seller closing, at least the way I do it is they come to my office and we pre-sign there. The title company comes to me. So again, I'm controlling that time with a listing versus the buyer. Well, the buyer, their closing is 2 hours long because they've got to sign all their loan documents and you got to do the walkthrough before. If I do a buyer closing, it's definitely going to eat up 3 to 4 hours of my day.
Right.
Versus a seller, 15 minutes.
Yep.
Like I have them come to my office. They pre-sign. They don't have as many documents. They are out. The longest it can take sometimes is 30 minutes. And even if you had to drive somewhere, you're still
saving a lot of time.
You're maybe at 3 hours compared to where were we with buyers?
We're like 15.
No, we added in going back for the walkthrough, the closing, we're at 20 to 25 hours. Now that's just driving and appointments. Like that is not all of the other time that goes into writing the offer and back
conversations and negotiations. And although you do
that on both sides.
Yeah, I was just going to say that we'll call that a wash, all of that stuff, because you're going to do it no matter what side you're on.
And then with the buyer, at least the way I do it, I'm setting up a search and I'm looking for properties for them. Whereas a listing, I'm setting up marketing and I'm doing marketing. So some of the behind the scenes stuff, the time could kind of equal out, but it's the drive time. What could you do with another 20 hours?
Mm-hmm. It's half a.
You could take 10 more listings.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. 9 to 10 more listings you could take. And I'm just making that math up a little bit, like just kind of based on experience. And that's if you're doing things efficiently or that they're choosing something in the first like few times out. Mm-hmm. That's not how it always goes.
Right.
So
if you go under contract and you have a listing, okay, and you go under contract and it falls apart for whatever reason, it just goes back onto the MLS and more people go and look at the house until it goes under contract. Your job kind of doesn't really get affected in your time the way that if you're the buyer's agent and it goes under contract and it falls apart, you have to start over.
Yeah.
And all that time goes back in to get that buyer into another house. So you can see how like having the listings just on this time thing, the efficiency of how you could have 3 times as many listings and be spending the same amount of time, with one third of those as buyers.
Well, and so the other thing is with listings, you control your time because it just takes less time, but you also control your time because you're in the driver's seat. Buyers come to see your listings. And so you can literally set standards and systems in place. For example, like I've seen this, there's this one agent that anytime I see one of her listings, it says like, if you make an offer over the weekend, do not put the acceptance date for a Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah.
Or like I've seen other times people say, give a minimum of 2 business days for offer response. You get to set that up. So you go in the listing consultation and you set that expectation with the seller that, hey, we're going to set it up so that you have plenty of time to review an offer and everything. So we're going to tell the other agents that they need to give a minimum of 2 business days for you to respond. That way you don't feel rushed. Mm-hmm. And then that goes in and that's the standard that you're setting for those offers. So you get to control that. Whereas a buyer, when you go out with a buyer and they like a house and it's 6:30 and you're hungry, you're getting hungry.
Yeah.
I'm always hungry, guys. Side note, I really am. I eat breakfast, a morning snack, lunch, an afternoon snack, afternoon coffee. And then sometimes I'm still hungry at 4. And then
another snack, then dinner.
Maybe another snack and then dinner. Uh-huh. And so around 6:30, I'm getting pretty hangry. And that's when they find the house, right? And they want to write an offer right then, right?
Mm-hmm. They don't want anyone else to get it.
And you don't know, like even in a slower market, you don't know for sure that there's not somebody else that just saw it.
Sure.
And because there's no way to know that.
Heaven forbid you were showing that house and there was somebody showing up right after you.
Well, and right before. I guess there's a way to know that. You could call the other agent and ask.
Yeah.
And if that person picked up their phone and they told you, then you could definitely potentially put it off to the next morning, or you could put it off. You can do that. It's up to you. It's your business. You could put it off till the next morning if it's real late at night. Because what are the chances an offer is going to get accepted between 6:30 and 8 a.m.? But you are still not in as much control of your time because guess what? They want that offer written so that they can read it and sign it before they go to work. Because if they go to work and then they're busy all day, they're not going to get to it until the middle of the night.
You're right.
Or not the middle of the night.
To the end of the day. So
that's the thing with buyers is they are there's a higher sense of urgency, which means especially if you're like me and you're like high responsiveness, you bend your schedule to meet other people's because that's what they want. That's what buyers want. So you don't have as much control over your time when you're working with a buyer because you don't get to set the time frame in which they want to sign an offer. At least not as much in control as with a seller. Same thing with like showings. Sellers, now you explain to sellers, you can set this expectations, and we've talked about this before. This is a time-saving tool to set expectations with sellers about showings and how it's going to work so that they don't call you at night when somebody doesn't show up. You get to set that expectation. But if a buyer wants to see a house and it's only available Tuesday night, what's going to happen? You're going to bend your schedule to accommodate that because it's the only time it's available to show, right? So I guess my point is just that with a listing, you're in control. You're in the driver's seat when it comes to how it's going to be shown, how offers are going to be received. You get to decide all that. Whereas a buyer kind of is the one that's in the driver's seat on that side.
Yeah. And you can try to corral them as best you can. And we've given all sorts of tips in the past on kind of how to do that. But at the end of the day, whether you can pull apart everything that we've talked about in this first 30 minutes or not, it's, I think, pretty obvious that buyers take up a lot more time than sellers do. Generally speaking.
Yeah.
There's always exceptions to the rule. There's always buyers. I know what I want and I'm going to put an offer on this house, and they do it like immediately and it goes through and you're fine. And there's other sellers where it's back and forth off the market and lowering prices and blah, blah, blah. There's always going to be, but generally speaking, if you stand back and squint, you see there's a huge difference between the two.
Well, and, like, what was I going to say?
I don't know.
Sometimes it just floats right out. Like it pops up like a little cloud and then it just floats right away.
You want to take a break?
Well, yeah, I guess we should.
Okay, let's take a break and we'll be right back.
Okay. If you're enjoying this episode and want more ways to seek your best, not just in your business, but in how you spend your time and energy, there are a few easy places to connect with us beyond the podcast.
Over on YouTube, you can find us at Seeking the Best Pod. We share full episodes of the show, short coaching clips, reviews of real estate products, and tips on building a real estate business that actually works in real life. We post videos on Thursday mornings.
Or find us on Instagram at On Seeking the Best. There we post behind the scene moments, short practical tips, and some of the real unfiltered stuff that doesn't always make it into the show.
And if you're looking for episode supplements like the Candy Bag, where Kat posts more in-depth ideas that we discuss on the episodes, head to onseekingthebest.com. You can learn more about us, buy some Seeking the Best merch, or send us a question that we'll answer on the show.
However you connect with us, thanks for being here and keep seeking your best.
And we're back.
Okay. I knew there was a stat for like specifically researched that comes from the MREA book that says that, well, I just lost it.
Oh my God.
No, I found it. Okay. Highly leveraged real estate agents could work 15 to 25 seller listings per month and keep it up, while the same agent would be hard pressed to work 7 or 8 buyers per month and continue to do that over a long period of time.
Right.
That's a big difference.
It's half.
It's half. I think it's, yeah. I mean, right? It's more than if you could do 25 and keep it up versus 8.
Yeah.
And like not be keeping it up.
Right. Then it's almost twice. Yeah.
So when you think about that, I was having this conversation. So if you did, and I know most of us, myself included, I don't take 25 listings a month.
Yeah.
I wish.
We all do.
Sounds great.
But that's the thing, right? Is like you don't take 25 listings a month. One of the reasons is because some of your time is being taken up with buyers. So,
you called me out. I'm just kidding.
Not really.
But no, it's true. Let me just break this down for a second, because yes, our time gets pulled in other directions. We'd all love to be 100% listing focused. And the reality is when somebody says, hey, Kathryn, I want to buy a house, I'm not going to be like, well, sorry, I can't help you with that. I only do listings. I'm just not going to do that because, well, first of all, I'm largely sphere word of mouth, past client referral based business. And so I wouldn't want to do that to my friend's friend or my past client's friend and just be like, sorry, I can't help you.
Yeah.
Good luck with
or
that.
past client.
Or past client. Yeah. So yes, I still work with buyers. So that takes me out of the office. It takes up time on the road and out and about. And then there's also like, I'm building a team back up. So there's training and there's all kinds of stuff that we have to do every day that we are not like, I am not a listing specialist on a team where my sole job is to do that one thing.
The listing specialist on a team could do 25 and keep it up because that's all they're doing. They're not worried about buyers. They're not worried about transaction coordination. They're not worried about marketing or farming or any of that. All they're doing is going and getting listings.
Well, and I think I'm going back to the page because I'm pretty sure it says a highly leveraged real estate agent.
It does say that. Yes. Highly leveraged.
Let me make sure that's what it says.
Being the key words, right?
A highly focused, highly leveraged.
So both.
Right.
Right. So top of your game.
I'm neither. No, I'm just kidding. I am neither highly focused or highly leveraged.
True.
And I'm working on it. We're
seeking our best. It's like when they say the name of the movie. He truly was a lethal weapon.
It's all about the journey, right? Not about the end result. So anyways, most of us aren't going to take 25 listings a month. But the point is imagine the income difference. Talk about learning to value your time and money by doing the thing that makes you the most in the least amount of time. And over time, it would just compound on itself and you'd actually be able to. Because
we haven't even talked about, well, this is how you get kind of in this. So let's say you're that agent. Let's say you're not on a team, but you've managed to somehow focus and do all listings. Well, what we haven't talked about is the spillover of the buyers that you can, if you're not taking them yourself, that means you're referring them out and getting referral checks on all the buyers that come in on those. Because if you're not taking on buyers, right, and you're a single listing,
it gives you an opportunity to hire somebody.
Sure, if you want to go in that direction and hire somebody, yes. But so there's even more money that's involved with that. Or the people who are selling their house aren't moving out of town; they're moving somewhere else in town.
Yeah.
Right. So that listing those people also become buyers but you're not taking on buyers. So you're referring them out. So you can see how being listing focused, why people say it. That's what you should be doing.
So I think there's two parts to why that works besides just the obvious, like you're not on the road as much. That's just going to save you time.
Yeah. Gas.
That too.
Eating.
Don't even get me started.
Food, getting that coffee, that $7 coffee because you're out on the road.
I like my $7 coffee. It's $6.
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. But I think it's obvious. That's the obvious thing. But then there's kind of two parts to listings and how they can work to make you more money in less time is that there's two parts to it. It's like having structure. Listings, I feel like I would say in my career, I've 100% mastered the buyer experience, like in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, okay, I shouldn't say 100%. There's always room for improvement, but
you've got that down to a science.
Yes.
Like when people say, I have that down to a science. That's
yes.
This would be the Wikipedia post.
Yes. The listing side, I don't feel that way, and I think it's because there are so many things that can be systematized within a listing, whereas buyers, it's kind of like a couple pieces, it's like the appointment, how you're going to show houses, how you're going to write the offer and present it. and then you've got your vendors for the other stuff and contract to close. Like with listings, there is a whole component of marketing and keeping the seller informed, and then having other agents show the property and how all that communication is going to happen. And every seller is different.
Well, it's all based off of their equity. So it's they're hiring you to take care of their investment.
Well,
right?
it's like we said.
So they all have different needs, and sometimes they're in town and sometimes they don't live in the house. It's a rental, and sometimes they've already moved away and they need you. There's all kinds of.
That's true. I didn't even think about that.
So many different variables in the process to have systems for all of that, because you don't have any control. You can't say, well, I only sell houses for people who don't live in them or people who do live in them.
Well, you could,
but let's be realistic. Nobody does that. So because there's so many variables, and we say in order for you to budget your time the proper way, the way that you improve on that is creating systems. There's a lot more of them.
Well, I think there's potentially more systems to create for listings, but everything you're describing, I didn't even think about that, but you're 100% right, because when you're dealing with a buyer, they're here. Here's how it's going to go.
Yeah.
With a seller, sometimes they aren't there, or you're dealing with tenants, and there's a lot more maybe variables, like you said. So sometimes I feel like I break my own system. I've literally been training a new admin, and I've been telling her, like, okay,
don't do this.
Don't do this. I'm about to do it. Don't do this. But I also have said, like, I am working on not breaking my own system.
Yeah.
But I do that because sellers do, like, there's unique situation. There's always something different with like how they want their house shown and all of this. And so, but systems can be documented. And the thing with structure with listings is having clear systems and expectation setting with sellers. Like, that is the biggest part. And we talked about that with time saving, but as a whole separate thing. But specifically with sellers, you can explain to them when you respond to your phone, because guess what? It's not urgent. Nothing is urgent. And here, let me explain what urgent would look like. And you can really, really set clear expectations with sellers, I feel like. And then that allows you to potentially have a day off. You could say, if you were super seller focused, you could say, just so you're aware, I take Sundays off. And so if we do get an offer on Sunday, that's why we're going to say you have 2 business days to review. And listen, that's a benefit for sellers. The buyer's not going anywhere.
Right. They don't have to rush around.
We control the inventory.
Mm-hmm.
So you can set those expectations with them and say, I take Sundays off. We use a showing service so that when I'm off, you're still getting showings. They're still happening. When an offer comes through, it's just going to sit there because you're going to have 2 business days, because that's what we're going to present to buyer's agents. That's how it's going to be handled. So it allows you to have more flexibility with your own schedule. You can also do like pre-planned vacations, because you can also guide the listings to be listed at specific times.
Right. Because nobody says, hey, I want to list my house and I want it to be on this Tuesday. They're always a few months out with what they have to do to get it ready. So if you've got a vacation planned, you
100%
work that into, well, this will be the right time to do it then. Right. And we've said, if you go back to the beginning of the season, when we talk about vacations, it's the first thing you do at the beginning when you're scheduling your year, is to put in your time off to protect it.
Well, that's right? By doing that, then you get to say to somebody, again, they're never ready to take photos the next day. It's very rare that you go into a listing appointment and they're ready the next day. So, and even if they were, the photographer might not be.
Right.
So they're going to wait till the photographer's
he's
ready.
On vacation too.
But so if they say, well, okay, I think we can be ready in 2 weeks and you're going to be gone. Well, you say, okay, great. Well, so actually let's plan for the following week. And we'll set it for, again, what day of the week do you prefer to list a property, right? But I think listing on a Tuesday or Wednesday is best. And here's why. And it's a benefit to them and it's a benefit to you. Mondays, we're coming back from the weekend and our days can be really filled with a lot of other things.
All the stuff that you put on hold on Sunday, the day before, right? And everything, because you took the day off and whatever happened over the weekend and stuff. So Mondays is busy.
So to make sure that we can do all of the activities that we need to do to get the listing live, we like to list on a Tuesday or Wednesday, which works best for you.
And we do that then because then we have enough time to advertise for the open house on Saturday.
Yeah. So you could literally schedule, or set your phone up to say, I respond to phone messages between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. I am off on Sundays. If you're calling to schedule a showing, you use Showing Time or whatever showing service you use. If you're calling to make an offer, please leave a message. I'll return your call the next business day. Because you're controlling the inventory, you're not the one that's like, no, call me back.
Yeah.
And listen, if you're listening to this and you've been a buyer's agent on the other side, I get it's frustrating.
Yeah.
Because I do work with buyers too.
Yeah.
And like you want to get a hold of them. But you know what? If you want that, you're upset about it because you're jealous. And I've been there.
Because you want to be able to say, well, why can't I do that?
Well,
why am I running around why is it 6:30 and I'm making this call and I'm getting a machine from somebody else saying I'm not available because I'm off? Like
I have had people like condescendingly say to me like, oh, I see that you
must be nice.
Must be nice. Somebody has definitely said must be nice before.
Yeah.
And it's like, listen,
you could do this too if you just listen to our podcast.
Well, listen, if we all treated it like a business, we would have a stopping hour.
Right.
Every business does.
Yeah.
And we aren't our best 24/7. And we need to stop lying to people and saying that we are. Like we're on 24/7 because we're not, first of all. And second of all, we're not our best for them. And that applies to buyers too. But my point is just with sellers, that's no big deal. Like for them, it's no big deal as long as you can accommodate their schedule to talk about important things. Mm-hmm. But if you set up systems like a showing system where you don't have to be bothered and it's actually a convenience for the seller because they can say yes, no to the appointments and like they have options too, then it's a win-win for everybody. But then the other side is it's like there's that, well, I said there's like systems that you set up so that you can be more flexible with your time. And then there's the boundary part where when you set the expectations and you set the voicemail and stuff, then you have to keep to it. Because every time you respond after 6 p.m. or call back after 6 p.m., you're taking the boundary that you created and just throwing it out the window.
Yeah, for sure. And they're not and once you give them an inch, you know the saying.
What is it? No, I'm just kidding. But then the last thing about listings is that what I said before is the more listings you take, the more opportunity you have with other buyers to work with should you choose to. So every listing properly marketed could get 1 to 2 other pieces of business. So in it, you can decide, do I work with those buyers myself? Do I refer them out? Or do I start a team and then have somebody else responsible for that activity? So the more listings you take, the more income you make for the time spent, but also the more opportunity you have to continue to grow that through other leverage. And leverage could also be referrals. There was a time when I was working in my team, and if you've ever built a team or you're thinking about it, like it's a completely different job than being a real estate agent. It's management of people and all of the complexities of that and personalities of that. And there was a time where it was like, would it be easier to just refer buyers out to anybody that like just somebody that I trusted would do a good job with them, but not necessarily somebody that was on our team or that was maybe they weren't interested in being on a team or wasn't like somebody I would hire, but I know that they would do a good job. Would that just be an easier thing that would then allow me to focus more on listings? Like I've definitely had that thought before.
Yeah, because then it's going to close, because you put them with somebody who is good at their job and stuff, and you never have to think about it again. You just get a referral check.
Yeah.
The only thought was that the only work you had to do was referring them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I did have that conversation. Well, that's for another episode. So never mind to listen in a week or so. But I want to say a couple more things before we break into the last segments. This is all, I think, like easy to say, but then it's like, well, how do I get more listings? I hear you. This episode is about time, not about how to lead generate for listings. But the minute that you make that decision of, I want to be more listing focused, you can start to shift all of your thoughts around, how do I attract sellers? How do I attract listings? So everything that you're doing. So I just said to my new admin the other day, because she's going to start being responsible for social media. I said to her, everything that's going out on social media should be about selling, not buying. The buyers are easy. You can go find, literally, you can go, I could go walk down the street and go find somebody who wants to buy us.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about lead gen, like an open house. They actually walk up and come inside and stand right in front of you and say, hi, I want to buy a house, basically. Right. Like
not quite, but yeah.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like like finding the buyers is not difficult compared to finding sellers. The sellers that have the sign up where you can go and get them are FSBOs and expireds. The FSBOs don't think they need you, right? And the expired just had a terrible experience. So the comparative of that versus the excited people walking up the driveway who want to buy a house, those are two completely different things.
Well, that's why buyers are easier, is because people who want to buy a house are excited about buying a house, and they're like posting on social media like, hey, I went to an open house today. Look how cute this neighborhood is. They're expressing it to friends.
They're telling their friends, people who want to sell their house, they keep that pretty close to the vest until it's happening.
Well, and oftentimes that's because they might be moving because of a job or something like that, and they don't want to lose their job while they're planning.
Or it's a bad situation at home, or it's not always a happy thing when people are selling a house.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things.
There's all sorts of things, you know.
Yeah, there's lots of seller lead sources. If you think about like probate, it's like,
right.
Those people, first of all, like the family that inherited the house may not live here locally. So like, how are you going to, like, they're not going to be in your sphere. They're not going to come to an open house. Mm-hmm. So I'm just saying that, or like you said, a bad situation, like a divorce, like those people aren't out there talking to their friends and family about maybe close friends and family,
right. But it's not the same.
It's not the same. And so, point being, everything you do, just make it about listing and selling if that's what you're trying to attract, so that's what
all your marketing.
Yeah, all your marketing. So if you're going to send direct mail, don't talk about buying interest rates or because sellers don't care about that.
Right.
So that's just my little 2 cents.
Yeah, that's just a nice tip. Yeah, it's just a nice tip.
That's just an extra.
Think about who you want your clients to be. Market to them, not to the other ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are you attracting?
Yeah. Is that it?
That's all.
Oh, okay.
Make it simple. Your best move that you can use, not a grind. It's a tip that saves you time. Your best move.
All right, your best move. It's time for this week's best move. One simple, smart thing to focus on this week, not a giant to-do list, not something that takes hours, just one move that actually helps you move your business forward. And for this week, what we want you to do, because that's what, for newer listeners, our best move is we're going to give you one little tip that we want you to do this week that's going to help your business. And this week is create a list of your top 20 advocates. You'll focus on people most likely to grow your business.
Yes. So let me explain what I believe an advocate is. So if you've sold houses before, your core advocates are people who've actually done business with you and you think they would do business again, or they've literally referred somebody else or done repeat business with you. Those are probably the first people I would say, like, look for past clients who've done business with you a second time. Mm-hmm. Those are probably tip top core advocates because they actually have the experience with you and they've done it a second time and still like you. And then the people who have done business with you and they've referred business to you, those people gave you a great gift. They obviously care about you very much and think you're really great. Those are your top 2 categories. If you've never sold a house before, then it's who do you think in your sphere of influence? So we always say in Keller Williams to build it to 201, and there's math behind that. I'm not going to get into all of it right now. But if you built your sphere of influence to 201 people and you're looking to narrow it down, like who's my 20 advocates? I don't know. Who are the people in that group that are most likely to refer you business? So that would be people that you're that already know you, trust you, like you, that would do business with you or refer business to you. Mm-hmm. Or somebody that maybe falls into that and also is an influencer in their own world. So if you had somebody in your sphere that you don't have to be best friends with them, but like they're somebody that you're in relationship with and they work in HR at a hospital and they're bringing in doctors and nurses to their hospital, that would be somebody who you'd want to treat extra special.
Yeah.
Because they have the opportunity to refer multiple pieces of business to you and they already know you, like you, trust you. So when you're looking at that list, just think about it through that lens of like, who would refer me business if I've never actually had any?
It's to keep these 20 people at the top of mind, right? You notice that a part of the best move this week isn't make a list of the 20 people and call them all. It's make the list. Just make the list. Write it out. And keep that at the top of your mind as you move through your week and through your month and all of those things. And the time, just be aware of who those people are at all times. And that will, my dad used to say, the more you practice, the luckier you get. Right. So this is the same kind of thing. It's like, be aware of who those people are and you'll be surprised at how things will start to turn with those people helping you out.
I just thought of one more thing. Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
This is not related to the best move.
That's okay.
This is back to the listing conversation. Just as a little story. I remember this was a while ago too. This was probably like 8 to 10 years ago. I remember exactly when it was. So it was almost 10 years ago. I had to be out of town and a girl had called to set a listing appointment and I didn't know her and she was not a referral. So it would have been very easy
like
for her.
She found you on Google or something.
Yeah. SEO, search engine optimization.
Yeah, I know what it is.
So, she had called me to list her townhouse and I did not know her. She did not know me. And so it was very likely that she could have said when I said, I'm not in town. Now I had a very good reason. I wasn't on vacation, but
we're out of town.
Yeah. And, so I just told her like, hey, I'm going to be out of town. I told her what for, cause it was like a very personal thing. And I just wanted her to know, like, I won't be able to meet with you virtually. Like there's no other way around it.
I'm not going to Tahiti.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I said, I won't be back. I think I was going to be gone for a little bit. So I said, I can meet with you. And I gave her the date. And I could tell like in her voice initially that she was sort of disappointed, but then she was like, okay, that's fine. I'll wait. So I just wanted to tell that story because I think it's really that simple. Is like if somebody reaches out to you and you've already got plans and you just say, well, I would love to meet with you. I'm going to be out of town those dates. I have available right when I get back on this date at this time. Mm-hmm. Would that work for you? Most of the time, they're just going to say yes. Now, your risk is that if it isn't somebody that's like a referral or whatever, your risk is that they also meet with somebody else and they close before you're back in town. But that's still control. Get to a point where you can do that and not feel guilty about it.
Or try to change everything in your life to fit them in.
Yes, because
I've got news for you. They could still go with that other person.
Well, that's the thing. So that situation, like I couldn't change my schedule, but what if I had? What if I had said in a different situation and a younger me would have said, oh yeah, okay, well, we'll just leave the next day and I'm going to go pat I'm going to do this listing appointment.
I'm furious.
And we'll just leave the next day. And I go meet with this person and they still could have chosen someone else.
Yeah.
There is no listing, no seller, no buyer, no nothing that is more important than your own personal time. Like that's just the reality. And so every time you
stop saying things like realtor life and posting like a bunch of fast food bags in your front seat.
Okay, I have done that before.
Stop doing those things. Because that just paints a picture out there for other. You think it's like I'm hustling, but all people see is, oh, they're always available.
It is. It's like, again, what do you want to attract? Do you want to attract people who respect your time?
Hustle behind the scenes.
You can be an awesome hustler and still have respect for your own time.
Yeah, for sure. Kat, you got a small win this week?
We do this every time.
And every time you're like, what week is it? What are we doing?
What day is it? What time is it? What's my small win? Can you go first?
Yeah, I can go first. So longtime listeners know we're working on our guest house here. Well, we have a old telephone pole in the front yard and it had spectrum lines on it, had quantum whatever lines on it, old telephone lines on it, a power line on it, and a green box, which we didn't know what it was, on it. And in 1 week's time, I got everything removed off of it. So, and the green box we found out was the original internet. Like when they first started to do internet, is copper wire, not even in use anymore. And they came and dug it up today. And now everything is off of that pole for Duke Energy to come out and remove it. And that could have been a nightmare trying to track down all of the stuff. But for whatever reason, it all just kind of worked. And
I still think that's due to your diligence and follow up, but
maybe, but
I agree.
That's the quantum guy came out to take down his lines and he was the one who told me what the other box was. And he jumped on the line with his dispatch guy and they figured it out while he was on the phone standing here. And then that dispatch guy came by our house just to take a look at it to make sure. I met him too.
That is very unusual.
Yeah.
Especially for like
he was
internet companies.
He was like, I was on my way home and I knew I was going to pass this. So he just stopped by.
That is really unusual.
And they came by today. They took out the green box and Duke is ready to take everything is off of it and Duke's ready to take the pole out in the next couple of days. So big, lots of small wins to make one big win.
Yeah. I just thought of one. Okay. So, this is actually a big win, but it's already, who knows what month it is.
It's February.
Is it though?
Yes.
Maybe it's March.
No, it's February.
And it took me a while to have time to go through some reporting to see. So I started being the productivity coach last year and I wanted to see how my coaching clients were doing. Like I know how they're doing because I know because
they're all listening to this show, right? All of you are listening.
Like I know how they're doing because I know that they're having sales and stuff, but like to really see the numbers year over year.
Yeah. To have something to look back on, you mean?
Yeah. So I finally had a moment to sit down and do that a couple weeks ago. I forgot about it. And I'm so proud of them. Their volume is up 71%.
Yeah.
And I'm just so proud of them. And then, that makes me feel good as a coach that they're seeing this impact that, like that's what a coach is there for. And I know they're accountable people,
that's not like it's up 20% where you could say, well, the market's better.
Yeah.
Or the market's doing this or whatever. A 71% overall improvement is a huge tangible amount to see.
Yeah. So I'm super proud of them. So that's my small win, is that I have imparted something to this group of people so that they improve their lives.
So if you guys out there listening have a productivity coaching program at your brokerage, or think about MAPS coaching, or just a personal coach, to have that accountability. We've said a million times, it's a pretty lonely business and stuff. To have somebody who's also gone through what you're going through bounce questions off of and to really dig into what's holding you back, it's a really good idea to kind of just seek that out and see if that's something that's available to you at your brokerage.
Yeah, I think I would definitely credit my current coach with last year, like in the last year and a half of conversations about are you building the business that you want to have?
A great example, right, is Kathryn's been in the business for going on 20 years. She's a top producer. She's a coach herself, but she still has a coach. Yeah. There's always somebody out there that can help you push you and help you elevate to the next level.
For sure.
Right. That's a good little tip there at the end. So, hey guys, for episode extras like the candy bag, ask us some questions or anything else we mentioned today, you can find it all at onseekingthebest.com. And for Kat and myself, thanks for listening, and we'll figure this all out next week.
Bye.
Fall down, get back up, keep on reaching, don't give up, step by step, nothing less, this is how I seek the best.
This has been a Think, Live, Be production.